Hey, Ivan, AR-15 is pump action. Look.
Do not be stupid.
What are you talking
You
about
are being
this time?
stupid. You are being stupid this time. It is semi-automatic.
No, it is not. This is pump.
It is semi-automatic. Watch, I will show you. You pull the rifle back like so. Okay. Then you close bolt. Then you point in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, it's Michael from Second Amendment Shooters.
And this is David. And today we're going to be reviewing one of our newer rifles. This is going to be the Smith and Wesson M&P15 Sport. There's a couple different models of the M&P15 Sport being 2016. There's 3 different models. I want to say one's the pre-2010, which looks exactly like this it has a Magpul M-Bus rear sight, which I'll show you in a bit. The only other major difference is it's a different kind of finish for the barrel. Instead of the new one, they call it Armonite, when the old one was a Melanite, which is just basically anti-corrosion finish. The older model, instead of a 1-9 twist, actually had a 1-8 twist, which a lot of people preferred because you can shoot. It's basically in the middle where you can shoot, 55 grain perfectly accurate if you want to, 62, and a little bit above that. It's basically the best of both worlds for that. This one's actually the post-2010 model. And the only thing I've changed out is I really wasn't a big fan of the M-Bus rear sight, so I put on a carrying handle because I like the aesthetics of the look better.
I always kind of like the flip up too. I do like the carrying handle. I have nothing really against it, but the flip up sight it kind of goes with the rail system a little bit better, in my opinion.
But I think the carrying handle gives it a better look.
I think it would probably have a better look if it was like an actual integrated carrying handle. It didn't have the big knobs right here.
Yeah, well, that's something you'd find in some of the older models, like some of the older Colt SP1s. When this was first coming out,
right?
There was the assault weapon band type of carrying handle where these were just actually integrated into the rifle and couldn't be taken off.
And of course, people now actually do prefer the rail system. That way, they can put their red dots and their ACOGs and whatever other type of sights you want to put on it.
And however many thousands of dollars they want to spend into their rifle.
And actually, that's the thing I like about these kind of rifles. You can do whatever you want to them. Like you put a carrying handle on yours.
Yeah, I did. That's really the extent of me customizing it out, because I'm not a big fan of, quad rails or anything like that. I'm going to get some flack for that, but, give me crap all you want. But I grew up in a law enforcement family, and this is, the basic AR, and I really never really been a big fan of optics on an AR, but maybe down the road.
All right, so let's look at this thing a little bit more. You said it was the post 2010, so it does have the 6 rifle grooving.
It's instead of
in the 1-9 twist.
The 1-9 twist. The older model had the 5-bar rifling, which if you're not familiar with it, it's 5 grooves of rifling instead of 6. This one has 6. This one is this one's in the 1-9 twist. Has the 6 groove rifling, and it doesn't have the Melanite finish, which I'm not really missing anything.
And what is it? What am I trying to think here? Yes, and so also the barrel is made out of 4140 steel, and the upper and the lower, I believe, is what?
7075 T6 aluminum.
Right. And that stuff's actually, I like that. I actually prefer a aluminum lower to a polymer lower.
Yeah, because I don't know if any of you guys have seen the failures on a polymer lower where it'll decide to fail right about here, meaning you'd have to get a brand new lower.
And now we get into the really nasty business. Because we do live in the wonderful People's Republic of California, this is not actually a 30-round mag. That is your standard 30-round PMag that has a rivet in it.
Right here.
Forcing it to only accept 10 rounds. And also,
this is the California compliant model, which you're not really losing a whole lot. I know like Maryland, Massachusetts, they can't have the birdcage muzzle brake at the end, so this is just flat.
Which looks terrible.
And they wouldn't have the standard A2 post, which has the bayonet lug. The only thing we're really missing here is this one has a bullet button, meaning you can't release the magazine like this. You have to have a special tool, which it's called the bullet button, and the reason why
Take your standard 223 or 556 round, or really anything with a sharp enough point.
Or a pen.
Some sticks work.
Yeah, some sticks will work. But my favorite, instead of doing that, there's a tool. It's called the bullet button ring tool, which instead goes on your finger.
It is legal in the state of California. We did check this out before we tried anything with it.
Because unlike the magnet ones, these do not attach to the rifle, meaning these are fully legal.
Yeah.
So the way these work, you push your... I use my middle finger to take it out. Just push it in. It comes straight out.
Now, as we said, that is the 1030p mag. What it does come with standard is this little aluminum, or this steel? Or aluminum? Steel. This steel 10-round mag, which, of course, if we look at it in the rifle... I'll use the bullet for this one. Okay, put it in there. Looks a little bit awful. Absolutely awful. So, yeah, that's why if you do live in any state that has a ban against the 30 round, or has a capacity limit,
please move.
Yes. Well, if you can't move. If you can only afford the rifle, we can't afford the cost it is to move. I would definitely suggest one of these because it looks better. All right. Now, the gas system on this is mil-spec, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mil-spec gas system. Although I do notice it's missing a couple things.
Yes, something I didn't go over, the standard base model M&P15 Sport up until 2015 did not come with it did not come with a dust cover, which if you're not familiar with the dust cover, as soon as you pull the bolt back, it pops open, or if you chamber around, it'll pop open. It's basically meant for storage. This one does not have the forward assist, meaning if it doesn't close all the way, which the bolt's locked back, if you want to lock that. So say we bring the bolt back, and then we just ease it forward just so the little clip doesn't engage. Like that. The trigger, well, it actually brought it forward. I wasn't expecting that, actually. But that's also not a safe way to fire it, to be honest. No. Because basically the forward assist, if it's not a jam, it'll bring it forward a little bit more, so it'll lock, which it's not locked back all the way now. The forward assist just basically locks it forward when it doesn't fully clear.
Ooh, careful. It's your rifle. You break it, you're going to have to fix it.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Now, of course, as we've mentioned, in 2015, they did upgrade the M&P Sport. But right now, that's the Sport 1, which came in an MSRP about, what, $679?
$649 to $679, depending on where you get it. The funny thing is they release a model 2 months after I get mine, which, always tends to happen.
It's like, of course.
Whether it's a cell phone, whether it's a TV, computer.
What? I do the same thing with my cell phones, but that's a different subject. Anyway, but, it's only been out for, what, 2 months now?
Yeah, it's only been out for 2 months.
It'd be crazy if we had one, right?
Yeah, it would be crazy.
I mean, I would have had to have bought one already.
Yep, you would have had to spend the $679 or however much they're going for now.
Which, it's impossible, the fact I could have one. But look, our magical gun fairy brought one to us.
Huh, the gun fairy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the M&P15 Sport 2, which of course now comes with dust cover, which if I rack the slide, you can see pop open. Boom. We'll leave that locked back. And the forward assist. So if I drop the mag, bring it forward just enough to where it's not going to close. I push the button, locks the gun in, or locks the chamber or the bolt into battery. Then, beautiful. Now, of course, we mentioned earlier that the standard M&P15 does come with the flip-up Magpul
M-Bus.
M-Bus, yes. Now, one thing I've always had an issue with the sports, and actually a lot of AR-15 models, is their hand grip. I don't like that little bump you get in the...
It's meant for smaller hands.
Well, if you've maybe noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't do that. Let's hold it. Yeah. Which maybe if you notice, I have rather large, beefy fingers.
Yeah.
So what I did, I went online and got myself a Magpul or pistol grip for it. Fits on just like your normal standard grip. Do enjoy it. Now, and of course, this thing actually has basically, except for the dust cover and the forward assist, has pretty much every single feature the same on it. As, the same aluminum barrel, same aluminum upper, same aluminum, or same steel barrel, same aluminum upper, same aluminum lower.
You're not really missing anything with or without a forward assist, because people can go their whole lives without needing one.
Or sometimes you do need them if you're, in a kind of a dirty dirty location.
Or especially if you're within the 200 round grace period for breaking it in, like what happened to you when you first take it out. You had to use the forward assist.
Yeah, that was the only failure I had with this thing. Other than that, it has worked perfectly ever since. So, and that was the only issue we ever had with it. And that one's had about what now?
Probably
300 rounds through it now?
I don't know about that. Maybe 200, 250.
Okay, 250 hasn't had a malfunction. I put about 150 through this. Still hasn't had a malfunction. So
then again, it's all up to really the ammo that you use. That's really one of the deciding factors on if it'll jam and when it'll jam.
True. And what I'm using right now is a Wolf 55 grain FMJ.
Which could
with
be...
the brass casing. That's one thing we have to make very clear right now. If you buy one of these, use brass casing. I know you can get tool ammo with a steel casing that's a lot cheaper than the brass casing, but it's nowhere near as reliable. You get hang-ups and jams and feed errors and all the other.
By all means, if your rifle can feed it and fire it, no issues, some don't have problems, go for it. But if you're something like this, don't take the risk.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I feel more comfortable spending that little bit of extra money.
I've mostly put some Winchester, some Federal, as well as some of my favorite stuff is IMI, the Israeli Military Industries 55 grain.
That's 5.56.
That's 5.56.
Yeah, and we should explain that this is a rifle that has been chambered for 5.56, which means it can accept the .223 round. If you have one, I don't think the M&P15 comes with it, but there's some other ARs out there that only come with a .223 barrel.
But that's something you'll mostly see only in older ARs. Most of the new ones have the 5.56 barrel.
If you have one with a .223 barrel, do not put the 5.56 round into it. You will break it.
You can risk
badly.
You can risk it blowing up and basically needing a new rifle.
Now, of course, this one also has the ugly, ugly bullet button, which
a Fox News anchor completely missed the point on these. He said that the bullet button is made there by manufacturers, so when the bullet button is pushed, it goes fully automatic. Which, if you're not a brain dead idiot like that guy,
you would know that
the bullet button, all it does is allow you to change the magazine. Nothing more, nothing less.
If the part of that does it is this little bugger down here, which is the safety as well. It's racked right now, so right now it's in fire mode. Look, safe. Perfectly safe. I could drop this thing off a cliff and it probably wouldn't go off. Not that I would.
Not that you would.
All right. And I can flip it forward, drop the bolt, and perfect.
And these ones actually fire very nicely, which we'll actually superimpose into the video right about now.
Get into the magic thing. This thing. Right. So
as you can see, we had a little bit of fun firing them. One rifle in one hand, one rifle in the other.
Which I still maintain that's one way to really piss off the state. But you know what? They make us have stupid stuff on it, so we can piss them off a little bit.
And technically, it's not illegal. It's just not really smiled upon in this state.
Other things that aren't smiled upon, even in other states, is to, of course, put the adjustable stock down.
Which they really don't care. It only brings it down 3 inches to 32 inches.
That's good. I think that's good for if you had a younger person, because the .223 or 5.56 round is actually not a bad training round for your younger kid.
And unlike Joe Biden, he said they're harder to aim and harder to control. Which
if you're a short person, not a short person, but if you're a child, having it this far out, let's say my arms are only like this long, I can't get a proper grip.
No,
I would have to come around here like that.
So you just
drop it in a little bit,
drop it down, and
then I have a good grip. So. That's why they have them, Mr. Biden. Now, the one thing that happens when you get the Sport 2 and when you get the dust cover and forward assist is the price does jump. I'm sorry to tell you.
Barely.
It jumps up from the 679 or 649, whatever the Sport 1 came in. It does jump up to 740 MSRP, which does put it right into the firing line of the Ruger AR-556.
Which is a top contender, and if I'm not mistaken, it was something you were really torn between.
I know I was this close to getting the AR, and then they mentioned they had this, which I prefer the Smith and Wesson name over Ruger. Not that I hate, not that I have anything against a Ruger. I've fired a few Rugers in the past, and I've only really didn't prefer one of them, and that was just because that was a personal feeling. This little snubby 357. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so the question is. AR or M&P? I haven't fired an AR yet, so...
I haven't fired the AR-556, but I've always been a fan of the Smith & Wesson product just because they always stand behind it, and all their guns come with a lifetime warranty.
This is true.
So if anything happens to it, you just send it to them for a free fix.
Say, hey, this broke.
They'll say, okay.
Okay,
take it back.
Here you go. Now, you mentioned earlier that you don't like the quad rail.
No, I've never been a big fan of it just because, I'm an old school guy, and I like the standard standard polymer forend.
Don't say plastic, and they get mad at you for that.
But the good thing is you can't rice these out. You can't make them. Well, you can make them louder.
Well, you can. You
can make an
Bubba
AR
always wants a new challenge.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with Bubba, Bubba is known, especially in the military surplus world, as someone who takes a nice military rifle. They chop the barrel. They cut the stock, they refinish it, they sand it, they TIG weld a scope on the barrel, they drill through the receiver, because back in the 50s when this first started, there was an influx of military surplus rifles.
Yeah, but the people in the 50s knew what they were doing. This isn't like, average Joe in his garage with a TIG welder. Yeah. I mean, you had a Marlin model
39A where they actually they welded a piece of metal onto the barrel. And they put the scope on there, but they didn't put it on there right. They put it on there sideways. Which it must have been some young kid who was, oh, this looks good. I really don't know what I'm doing. And these really don't come with a scope mount, so let's put it on there sideways.
Okay. So back to the rifle. Oh man. So we both fired both of ours. I fired yours. You fired mine. We fired them together. What do we want? What do we give the M&P Sport 1? Out of 10.
1? Well, with this sighted in, I'd give it a 10. Just because I love the feel. I've been wanting one since I was a kid. And it's just nicely put together. I mean, the fitment isn't going to be as nice as, say, an LWRC M6, but, it's going to be, just as nice. I mean, like a buddy of mine always said, it's hard to screw up an AR no matter who makes it unless you buy, brand X.
Well, brand X, I don't want to buy brand X. Anyway. For the Sport 2 or for the Sport 1, I still think because it doesn't have the little dust cover in the forward assist, it looks a little bit off for me. I know it's not this major issue, but it does kind of hold that reservation.
And it does take off a little bit of weight, which if you're carrying it around all day, it helps. Yeah. Not by much, but it helps.
So I think without the forward assist and out the dust cover, I'll give it an 8. To be honest, okay. I have to give it an 8 just because I don't. Also, with that grip on it, I do not like that grip. That grip is uncomfortable.
I will say, with the forward assist and the dust cover, it does give it a better aesthetic look. I'll give it that.
Yeah. So, what do we think of the Sport 2?
The Sport 2 is nice. I do like the addition of the features, which, at the price range, it's not really much of a difference. With the Magpul MOE grip, it's definitely nicer, but I would give it probably a 9.
Yeah, I think I'll give this a 9, too. It's not that it's bad. I do enjoy it so much, but it doesn't have quite, the trigger's a little bit heavy. You get this little weird mix of little touches. And also it had a feed error, which I know it's just before it was broken in, but
I'm not going to hold anything against it. If it's going to jam, that's when it's going to do it, in the 200 round or so break-in period.
Yeah. Well, yeah, also make sure you break these things in before you judge them too much. So I think that's pretty good there. Now the big question is there anything if you were gonna go off on an AR, like completely like mod the heck out of it? Let's just paint a little dream right now.
Okay.
What would you do?
Well, the carrying handle would go. I would put an EOTech holographic sight on it. I may change my mind and put a quad rail on there with the forward grip. And I would probably get one of the adjustable Magpul rear buttstocks. But other than that, I don't really do too much to it. Maybe I'll change the muzzle brake from the standard birdcage to something a little bit different.
And for me, the biggest mod I would think about ever doing with this, and I know it's not, I mean, it'd be changing pretty much the entire working. I've always kind of been dreaming about putting that 300 blackout, right? Which you can actually, I believe Smith and Wesson does offer an M&P15 with the 300 blackout.
I'd put an MSRP of $11.19.
So it's a little bit more expensive, and the ammo is more expensive, but I do like the blackout round.
But the good thing about the 300 blackout round is you don't have to change your magazines. A 300 blackout will fit in the standard 5.56 magazine, and it will chamber. So the only thing you would need that's different would be a different upper, and that's it.
Right. Well, upper and barrel.
Upper barrel. Yeah. Same thing.
Don't try to put your 300 blackout into a 5.56.
Oh, no.
It wouldn't even chamber, so.
No.
So that's the one thing. Other than that, definitely maybe put like a red dot or maybe I might put an ACOG on this. I don't know yet.
Or go with a nice aim point or something.
Something nice, and probably a quad rail, which I might do on this thing. I haven't quite decided yet. And that's kind of a personal decision there. As far as, I mean, of course, if I put an ACOG in, I might want to try to replace the front sight.
Yeah.
Into something.
Or what I might do instead is replace the front A2 sight post with a Trigicon sight post that's actually glow in the dark.
Ah, okay. I see what you're saying. You're going to go glow in the dark in the
something a
fancy
little bit nicer.
stuff.
I mean, not that I would really recommend this in home protection, but you know, if it's around, then use it.
So basically, the basic of what we're saying with these things is, you can do whatever you want to them. You don't, and you're not. And that's the one thing I like. If you're going to do stuff with this, like, you're not going to incur the wrath of the purists. Well, you might, but still, it's not going to be a major difference, I don't think. Good?
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right.
Then if you think we left anything out, please leave a comment below. We thank you for watching our videos, checking out our channel.
Leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe for more. Also, in the future, we're definitely going to be taking these and some more other fun guns out to the range and giving them a rundown.
Then if you think we missed anything, please leave a comment below. And as always, we hope you enjoyed the video. This is David.
This is Michael.
Signing off from Second Amendment Shooters. Thank you. Have a good night. That is not how I was taught to use it.
Well, you are being taught like idiots.
You know, it hurts when you say that. You always criticize everything I do.
That's because you do everything like idiots. You do it like stupid American.
But I like the American.